Welcome back to What They Won't Tell You, The Quantum Truth with Sherry and Shara. And today it's a very special episode. We're going to go over Sherry's book, Busting Out of the Matrix. It's absolutely wonderful. Started reading it, fully engrossed so far, and it will blow your mind. If you're trying to figure out these multiple dimension beings and be yourself and what you align, this is the perfect book for you. So Sherry, what is Breaking Out of the Matrix about?
Well, what it's about is actually a matrix is a box. It's a box. And boxes in duality are belief systems, the BS. To put it kindly and lovely, it's bullshit. So we get caught up on these boxes of belief systems. It doesn't matter where we live in the world. And so we get confined, constricted, and limited. And that's what duality does to you. And in this book of Busting Out of the Matrix, you will see the delusional illusion, but that's actually physical, of how we get confined and controlled by these duality BS programs in those boxes known as the Matrix. And I take all the mystery out of it and give you the facts.
Wow, that is absolutely wonderful. So I was just thinking that we've all seen like the Matrix, right? And how we're already plugged in. So are we already plugged in, or do we plug ourselves in?
Well, that is like a brilliant question. We are not only plugged in, we are taught through our families, through the system, to stay plugged in so we don't know that we can unplug and bust out.
So what does unplugging mean? What is busting out of the Matrix, and how can we do that?
It means to become non-duality conscious. And what is non-duality conscious? It means you do not have to be limited, and you can stop thinky through your controlled left computer brain.
Awesome. So once you bust out of the Matrix, where do you go?
Okay, you go, I call it being of it, not in it.
Oh, okay. What is of it then?
Of it is being yourself, being the truth of who you are, of how you create your life consciously, instead of within the confines, the constructs of a belief system, regardless of the language. So I'll give you an example. I have worked with many people all over the world, and some I did not speak their language, but yet they were able to achieve, because I had an interpreter, but you see, your body knows the truth. It's called your cellular memory.
Okay.
So the cellular memory, the minute the sperm hits the egg, your nose knows to be a nose cell and your toe knows to be a toe cell. Otherwise, you have a fingernail at the end of your nose.
Right.
So I love the
point.
practicality of consciousness. And so when we are programmed into these boxes called the Matrix, called the boxes, it's very challenging to get out, because we're told that our intelligence and intellect is in our left computer brain. And actually, folks, honestly, this is not judgment, but your left computer brain is an idiot.
So I guess where does that? Why isn't it an idiot? And what is the right? Like the left computer brain? Is it more trusting the body and the chakras? And because the left computer brain is going to be like, well, that's logical and that's fine. That's what you're supposed to do. So I guess what is the difference between the left computer brain and what we're supposed to be using?
Well, your whole brain.
Oh, your whole brain. Okay, that makes sense.
Because the left brain goes to the right side of the body, which is the male side. Listen, folks, this is not about gender. The right side is the manifest, the manufacture, and
Manuscript.
yes, and then it is called manipulation, and so we just continue to get manipulated. And so it doesn't matter in the continuum what happens, it's the same thing. So is the war in Mesopotamia or Rome the same as the wars that go on all over? The wars that end all wars? The war starts inside of us in that left computer brain.
Wow. So you were saying something about boxes. So can you give any example of a box we're put in?
Oh, this is perfect. I'll give you mine. I was born and raised in a Catholic
Oh,
union,
oh man.
Catholic union, blue collar town. And
Mm,
I did not fit in. I'm not judging unions or blue collar or union, but I was already out of the box when I showed up. And
mm,
so I would ask questions. Well, you're not supposed to ask questions. Well, question means quest, the journey at your ion cellular level.
mm.
And so I was this is the best one. I love this. I raised my little hand and I said, if Columbus discovered America, how come people were living here? Here's a box. And
Right.
my benevolent, kind, loving teacher said, Sherry, memorize it and pass the test.
Wow.
So memorization is the memorization of the belief systems. Ooh.
So how does one unplug completely? Like, how do you break it? Because for me, I always get close and I get knocked down a little bit, and then I get closer and I get knocked down. And like, oh, now I got to go to the systems. Wait a second, this isn't right. So how do you actually detach that dimensional umbilical cord?
And it's fabulous. I love it. Dimensional umbilical cord. And the key is detachment, not disconnect. So when you
Hmm.
disconnect and then you connect, and then you disconnect and then you connect. So when you detach, you become this incredible person. Even in the Matrix, they talked about it. But I've been teaching this way before these movies showed up, called Neo.
Mhm.
Neo is non-emotional observer. So when we get emotional, exactly what's happening now. It had always happened.
Mm.
You know what, Cassidy? People would rather be right and die
Mhm.
and do it over and over and over again
Wow.
than be correct and live.
Huh. And
I'd rather be correct.
I like the way you phrased that because you didn't go right and wrong. You said right and correct. It's a completely different verbiage than you didn't go to, oh, this is wrong, this is right. Because duality is no wrong nor right, right? It's not dark nor light. The world is gray.
No, the world is colorful.
Okay.
It's colorful.
What do you mean by colorful? Like how you mean?
Well, look at all the colors, the greens and everything. But we are taught in duality that it has to be right or wrong.
Right.
And I can't do that. I never could. I would say, what is correct for me? So
Right.
my clients over these well over 30 years, all over the world, doesn't matter what language they speak, but the language of consciousness is your clarity. It is your power. In duality, it is force. So I was forced to memorize. Now I'm not picking on Columbus or Italians. I mean, my
Right.
family goes back to the 14th century in Italy. Like, get over it. That was their doing, not mine. So the fact is the facts. So when we get to the facts, we see I don't have to be confined in this jail cell, the jail cell that gets jailed in our cells, and that's why we get sick. And then my clients will say, Sherry, this makes so much sense. Well, if it doesn't make sense, then why do we continue to do it?
So somebody who's stuck inside the matrix, like let's compare both. Like somebody outside and somebody inside. The person inside the matrix, what are they missing out from being to unplugging?
Life.
Life. Okay.
You know, when people
That's a very fun point in life. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
and why you came here. Like people will come and say to me, Sherry, what's my purpose? I go, which one?
Right.
You know, your purpose in the, in kindergarten is to get your little butt into the first grade.
Yeah.
So we've got to stop grading ourselves
Right.
and get out of the confines of the matrix. And busting out of the matrix, the purpose is to be free. I don't live in a matrix at all.
So where can we find your book?
You can get it on Amazon. And guess what? So far, I have all 5-star review.
Hey, you got another one coming from me soon here. I've gotta get through it, man. It's a turn pager for sure.
It is. And I'm telling you, I'm even getting calls from people. Wow, this is changing my life, even from the first chapter.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Sherry Anchara has her book, Busting Out of the Matrix. You can order it on Amazon and come right to your house. 5-star reviews right now. And this is What They Won't Tell You with Sherry Anchara, The Quantum Truth. See you next time.